What is up, you guys? Sorry to keep you waiting, but it's just the way it is. I had to work and wait on parts and stuff like that. So not gonna waste too much time here with the intro. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into some of the things that I've already done to the S2000 off camera. On the last video, I believe I left off where I just installed the engine, and that's basically it. So I did get everything covered up. Like I said, I did a few more things since then, such as this Radium Engineering catch can setup right there, and also I had mentioned that I needed another coolant reservoir because of this catch can was going to be taking some of the place that was going to be for this reservoir tank. I did remove the front bumper right there. You can see it's gone. I did that to gain access to this air pump underneath here. Yep, well, it was there. I went ahead and bought the actually I bought it a long time ago, the Blade Sports removal, what do you call that, delete kit or something like that, because I remember last time when I tried starting it up without it on there, the car was really acting funny. Never really looked into it, but as soon as I plugged it back in, everything started working again. I also installed the an oil pressure sensor kit. This transducer goes, it's electronic. There's a oil pressure port on the other side. I have it teed into the same sensor for the engine. So that switch is installed, and don't mind these wires right here. I'm actually waiting on some wire sleeves. So that'll be covered up, made it look nice. And the oil line I have is a 3AN, goes into that T for that transducer there, and then ties right back into the engine oil block right there, or the port for the engine. So did that, and let's see, what else did I do? I can't even think anymore. It's been such a long time. I removed my cruise control. Yeah, I did mention that. So anyway, that's pretty much it as far as that goes. It doesn't seem like a whole lot. It really isn't. But let's go ahead and get on to the good stuff here. Let me show you what I got. Alright, you guys, as you can see here, this is my ported S2000 intake manifold. And this is an AP2, but it's not like the 2005s, where it has the provisions for an idle air control valve internal of the manifold. So this one is all done via drive-by-wire. So this is a 2006 and up S2000 intake manifold. And what's special about this one is, for one, it bolts right on. There's no modifications. Everything fits like factory. And two, this is cut open and ported by SBS Performance. And don't worry, these are not cracks. It's just part of the casting. It kind of looks like it on camera, but not in person. So anyway, it was cut open, and the intake runners were cleaned up. Got a lot of the casting flash off of there from the factory. So that really improves, is really going to improve a lot of the flow. And also the flange here was port matched to my specific throttle body setup, which I'll get into in a minute. And he also port matched the face of the flange here to match the cylinder head. I didn't show that, but I did trace out the cylinder ports exactly to where this intake manifold would line up just perfectly with the ports on the head. So there is no worrying about, you know, like a little offset and disruption of airflow to some degree. It is perfectly port matched, and he did a great job at that. So I'm really happy about this. I was really waiting to see this. This is something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. So when I got it back, of course, I was pretty ecstatic, and wanted to come home and put it right on right away, but I couldn't do that because of work. Also, what held me up on this was the my intake, or my throttle body setup. It wasn't just a direct bolt on. I guess it could have been, but I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be exact, and I did want a little bit more volume into the plenum. So what I did was I purchased just a block of aluminum, this flat bar, about a 1-inch thick, and went ahead and traced out the K-Tune throttle body that I'm going to be using, which is this weird shaped flange right here. And I also traced out the actually I used a gasket to mark on the back side of that block. And what I did was just cut it open, and what I did was just cut it and then drill the hole through it, and just hole sawed a hole through it. And after that, I was able to finally kind of get a good finish on it with some rotary files. So the end product was this piece right here. So this is going to work out great for the throttle body, and I still got to clean up. I'm waiting on files. They're in my work truck. My work truck's not here. So anyway, since SBS Performance port matched it, I was able to mimic the exact 72 millimeter diameter of this throttle body to that intake manifold. And that's really the main reason why I used the later AP2 intake manifold, was because the earlier AP2 manifolds have that provision like I was telling you about. Those holes right there, you see them? Yeah, those two. And you can only go up to like 69 millimeter. So that wasn't going to cut it. And a lot of people do weld them up and all that, but since I'm using my K-Tune, it has a little bolt pattern for idle air control valve, so it was going to work out perfect. So anyway, I did all that and port matched it to the AP2 manifold. So this goes on like so, and then this goes on like this. And then let me lay it down so you can kind of see it. And well, first here's the bottom side of it, kind of mocked up a little bit. It's a little bit dark, but you get the idea. I want it to be kind of like a smooth transition, and it's definitely that. So lay it down now, so it doesn't look as bad. You can kind of imagine what it would look like if I didn't have that gasket or that adapter on there. So it does flow a lot better, and it looks like it's almost part of the intake manifold. And please guys, go check out SBS Performance. He's a really great guy to work with, and he's real down to earth. And I did meet the guy. I did go up to Minnesota, and we just chatted for a really long time. So thanks again, Elvis. I appreciate it. And please guys, go check him out. I put some of his information down below, so you guys can go check out the link. He'll pretty much take care of you, that's for sure. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and finally pull off, and waiting for this moment for a really long time, this intake manifold, and replace it with that one. And we can really start seeing the engine bay come back together now, and we're going to get it knocked out. Guys, will you just look at it? It's stock, but it looks amazing. Actually, it's not stock, I take that back. I can't believe it's on there, really. It's so much easier to put on as opposed to that Skunk 2 one. But it looks great. I really gotta do something about that valve cover. Any suggestions, leave them in the comments. I'm gonna keep on going at it. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it up, and just keep on going, see how far I get. Alright, check it out guys, and pretty much in no time at all it's all together. I don't know how long that took, maybe 30 minutes. Easy. This part's pretty much done, but now what I'm going to do is get the fuel rail and injectors and stuff, and I guess go ahead and bolt those on. I really have nothing holding me back from doing that. And I got my little helper here. He wants to go inside though. He's a wuss. Alright, so I got my Radium Engineering K-Series fuel rail and my bag of injectors and fuel regulator. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this together. And I really got to clean out this fuel rail because it was kind of left open here. So I have to, you know, clean it out. So I'm going to go ahead and get all that cleaned up and put it on. Pretty much got it all back together. I still have a few more things to do, like well, this intake pipe right here, I don't have a coupler on it. It's going to be pretty interesting trying to figure out how to do that, but I think I might have enough room. I mean, I don't want to cut the intake, but yeah, I don't know, it just might come down to that. If anything, I'll just cut off maybe a ½ inch around there. But I did bolt the throttle body on. I got some bolts for it, and they're a little bit too short, so I'm gonna have to find some other ones. And I don't really like the way this throttle cable looks right here. It looks kind of, I guess, old. It kind of just doesn't flow with the rest of the car, with everything being as new as it looks. It's already kind of day 2, buttoning everything up. Been spending a couple hours here and there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the vacuum lines, and it'll be the next day by the time I work on it, and you guys will see that. So I'll have the wire loom for this and the other side and get it all buttoned up. I did bolt on the air filter housing. So yeah, it's coming together. Alright, so pretty much got it almost wrapped up. I believe we're going to call it right here. Just have a few minor things to do before we start it up. I need to just plug these connectors in, but I still need to put my idle air control valve on, and I need to get a little cap for my map sensor, or for this part here, because I'm not going to be using this one or the one on the K-Tune throttle body, because the 06 and up map sensors are scaled differently, and I tried messing with that scale on the Haltech and I never could get an accurate reading. So I'm just going to go ahead not use that. So I need to run some my crankcase vent lines. I'll just do 1/2 inch tubing going across and probably tie it back into the valve cover here, and that's basically it, other than fill with fluids and check for leaks. We should be ready for a startup, and I will be putting the bumper on here pretty soon. I got new clips and all that kind of stuff for down there, so it should be nice and tight. And I already replaced the grill here, because pretty much on the last drive before this car went down again, I hit a tire on the road. Well, not a complete tire, but just part of a tire, that like a blowout, and that really kind of demolished this center piece here. So now I got it replaced, and it's nice and tight, strong, got new clips, so that's good to go there. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. Look forward to the next one, because we will be finishing up here and going for a start. See you guys next time, and it won't be too long.